they do. They have these exercises, and the next thing you know, what they're planning for comes true. And they're doing a pneumonic plague drill held in Illinois. This was reported out of Infowars.com, November 6, 2009, by Kurt Nimmo. In Lake in the Hills, Illinois, police will conduct a drill to combat a fictitious pneumonic plague on Saturday. Wow, they're gonna, as part of a grant from the McHenry County Department of Health for its emergency health plan. And all these health plans really are just dribbled down pieces of draft paper coming down from think tanks and stuff, from the world government bodies themselves. Says here that the Northwest Herald, David Bray reported officials picked pneumonic plague for the scenario, so it would have nothing to do with the swine flu. But we see time and time again how they use these events and how they use these situations as conditioning, getting people ready for what's to come. I mean, really, what is to come? What have they invented in these labs that they're going to release on the public? And why are all the microbiologists coming up dead? It would seem to me like we really need some good microbiologists in the world. They're killing off all the good ones. On November 5th, it was reported in the alternative media that a town in China was locked down after 2 people died from an outbreak of pneumonic plague. In August, the Associated Press reported on the deadly outbreak of pneumonic plague in a remote farming town in northwestern China. However, it is odd that a preparedness drill in the United States would use pneumonic plague as its fictional predicate. It's not explained why officials in the Lake of the Hills has chosen to avoid basing their drill on the H1N1 virus. It is odd. It is really odd. It's not known if the Department of Homeland Security is involved in the drill to be conducted this weekend. But we do see time after time again Department of Homeland Security funding a lot of this madness that we're seeing taking place as these drills and stuff, especially involving the military on our performing domestic duties in violation of Posse Comitatus. Soldiers nearly killed with military's bioterrorism vaccine. This was reported out of the naturalnews.com. Approximately 200 soldiers have suffered from serious and even life-threatening complications from the government-mandated smallpox vaccine, and one has even died. In 2002, fears over bioterrorist attack have led the U.S. government to require that all its military service people receive vaccination against a variety of diseases. I mean, they are giving you a cocktail of stuff. In 2003, 2 expert panels concluded that Army Specialist Rachel Ray died in part 1 to the complications from the deployment vaccines that she had been given. Oh my God, I mean, they are just giving a cocktail of this stuff. And it's mandatory when you're in the Army. And, you know, and this here, it goes on where we see time and time again that they predict it. Like I said, this stuff happens a year in advance. This stuff happens 6 months in advance. And then you start seeing this stuff unfold. And you start seeing it happening. You know, like this article come out. IBM knew about the pandemic in 2006. A document has surfaced revealing IBM was aware of the current H1N1 pandemic in 2006. Oh my God. And the same players every time. An interdepartmental document distributed to upper management of IBM in France during 2006. It's posted on the website, up at harrythomas.info under the weekly news section. I'm telling you, the weekly news section has all the meat. That's where the meat and potatoes are. These are huge articles. I mean, one person cannot cover everything in this New World Order agenda, period. That's why it's going to take every single one of us with any kind of moral fiber in us to fight the New World Order and to stop this global madness, this push for a one-world dictatorship, a total control grid. In addition to the contrived pandemic, is a tool designed to implement martial law and increase government control over populations. The IBM document describes quarantines and operational procedures to be taken upon official announcement of the engineered pandemic by the World Health Organization. Now, remind you, this H1N1 and all this stuff was developed by man in a lab. Okay? Totally eugenicist program. Red flag after red flag, document after document proves this. This single document definitely proves that there's an international corporate collusion behind the bird swine flu pandemic. The intentional plan to create disease on a worldwide scale. Reports prevent disease. IBM worked closely with the Nazis in their mass extermination eugenics program. IBM machines and punch cards were used at all stages of the Nazi extermination program. According to author Edwin Black, IBM was involved in virtually every aspect of the Third Reich's operations. Yeah, IBM was a major player in herding up the cattle, so to speak, with the Nazis over the Holocaust. IBM, the Rockefellers, and the Carnegie Institute and other globalist foundations were intimately involved in Germany's eugenics program. And if you don't know anything about the eugenics, please get yourself informed. All these documents are up at the website of this IBM document. I mean, you can check it out for yourself. You can check it out for yourself. And it's not only that. Look at this one. Fight Back H1N1 reported on November 1st, 2009, World Health Organization memos from 1972 explains how to turn vaccines into a means of killing. It says here, animal models and implications for human disease technically outline the ability to create biological weapons in the form of vaccines that, first, totally disable the immune system, two, load every cell of the victim's body up with infection, switch the immune system on causing the host to kill themselves in a cryogenic storm. There's a critical piece of evidence of the WHO's long-term genocidal intentions. Who could stand in any court of law? Because these memorandums give the best and fullest explanations, and the affiliated labs. So what I'm saying is true. It exists. You could take this, if they allowed it, if you could ever get past the corruption, you could take this information into a court of law and prove the claims that I'm making, and the claims that others are making. I mean, for every crime there needs to be motive, an indication that it was a deliberate and planned. The World Health Organization memorandums provide the evidence for just that deliberate, long-term planning to kill people by weakening their immune system, by using the first vaccine, injecting a live virus into their body by second, and creating a cytokine storm during using squalene in the third. And like I said, there's all kinds of documents, all kinds of links up at the website under the weekly news section. Oh my God. Now the propaganda even gets more thickened. Government appoints a task force to handle H1N1 vaccination propaganda. Just when you think it was safe to go back in the water. PrisonPlanet.com, Paul Joseph Watson reported, the U.S. government has appointed what the media is ludicrously billing as an independent group of health advisors whose job it will be to whitewash adverse reactions to the swine flu vaccine and explain them to the public as mere coincidence. And this is how they do it. They run the media, they run all the propaganda. And when I say they, I'm talking about the globalists. I'm talking about the people who are pushing for a one-world government, a new world order. You can check it out for yourself. I mean, all the claims that I make. The authorities have been busy honing in their propaganda about the H1N1 inoculation program, that they've been dealing with the actual rollout of the vaccine. A $16 million campaign to coerce Americans into taking the shot is falling flat on its face. And that's what they do. They say, well, you can't have it, because they know people don't want to take it. So every time that they say, well, you can't have it, they know people because they study psychology, they